Now, recognizing the member for Chilliwack.
There we go. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think this is my first time speaking before you, so this is a real treat. You know, all my fellow MLAs and all the staff here at the legislature have been just terrific with me. This is my first week ever being here, and a little rusty sometimes, a little wobbly when I speak. Sometimes, you know, rote when I speak off of paper and stuff like that. So I really appreciate it. I hope you don't mind, Mr. Speaker. I'm going to do just a quick shout out to my LA because she helps me all around the building, opens doors for me, makes sure I find it to the West Annex, wherever that is. All I know is how to follow her so far, but I'm learning my way. Her name's Kaylin Tyrell, and she is terrific. So, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to speak to this act today. Like the act previous that I spoke to, this is a very sensible, seems like a no-brainer again, streamlines a process that that we don't need to make any more complicated than it is. I do like what the member previous to me was talking about money laundering, and that's been a big problem in our province, and it has filled the housing market and made housing more expensive for sure. And so this act is great in that respect, where it will reduce any risk of that. You know, it'll streamline the regulation in British Columbia, and it'll centralize expertise with a single organization that'll make it much harder to get around the rules. And these recommendations come from an expert panel's report on money laundering. So, you know, coming from there is a great spot to be coming from. And, you know, by bringing it under the one group, we're consolidating regulatory overview of almost the entire provincially regulated financial sector, including real estate. And we want to build on this strong foundation to make sure we're regulating the most effective way possible. And having a single regulator is a way of doing that. And I know the previous member gave out some acronyms, and I just thought, you know, there's you know, members of these places. There's CEOs and stuff, and I thought it's worthwhile to read the quotes of how they feel about this. So, from the BC Financial Service Authority, or BC FSA, Blair Morrison is the CEO there, and he says, bringing the regulation of financial services and real estate under one roof will allow BC FSA to become a modern, efficient, and effective regulator for BC's entire financial services sector. And by integrating and enhancing its investigative, compliance, and enforcement capacity and approach, BC FSA will provide strengthened consumer protection and foster increased confidence. I'm the chair of the board of directors of the BC Financial Service Authority is another supporter of this amendment, Mr. Speaker. He says, BC FSA's board of directors welcomes the evolution of BC's regulatory regime with the introduction of these legislative amendments. The board of directors takes its accountabilities relating to approving BC FSA's strategy and providing operational oversight seriously. We look forward to working closely with the CEO to deliver BC FSA's mandate as we move forward. And so, you know, this will help reduce the effect of money laundering on our real estate market and make housing cheaper. I think I mentioned this to this chamber before. I'm a homeowner, and I am from Chilliwack, and prices in Chilliwack have gone up 140% in the last year. The average price of a single a single-family home in Chilliwack is up over $610,000. Last month, February, saw over 500 single-family home sales. The year previous in Chilliwack only saw 200 home sales in the month of February. So housing is already becoming out of reach for folks. I would have a very difficult time affording it today, coming up with a down payment and getting into the housing market. I got in the 1990s because I'm still a Gen Xer, and I think, like I said before, probably the last generation to be able to afford to own their own homes, or at least for now. But once we make changes and make life more affordable for British Columbians, including homes, I think that will change, Mr. Speaker. So the other organization my friend from Surrey, Panorama, said, talked about was the Office of the Superintendent of Real Estate, the OSRE. And so the current head of the Office of the Superintendent of Real Estate, the Office of the Superintendent of Real Estate, the current head said, because these organizations are pro this amendment, if I haven't put a point on that before, but Michael Noseworthy, he says, by centralizing our expertise under BC FSA, we'll be building on our strengths and streamlining our work to better protect consumers in British Columbia. As the financial services and real estate markets are rapidly changing, we will focus on innovation and continuous improvement, bringing a single lens to the oversight of financial services and real estate with enhanced information sharing. And you know who else is for this, Mr. Speaker? The Real Estate Council of British Columbia. And the CEO of the Real Estate Council of British Columbia, Aaron Seeley, says today's changes will help modernize and strengthen our regulatory system while keeping the focus on protecting consumers. Public protection continues to be our priority as we move toward a single regulator. So what our government is about, Mr. Speaker, is about making life better for folks. And combating money laundering, streamlining regulation and regulators is going to make life better for folks. And I just like to say, Mr. Speaker, I maybe leave you with this, that it was a pleasure to be able to speak to you today. I hope I have many more opportunities to do this. And so I thank you for the hard work you're doing in that chair. Thank you very much.